A fleet of Royal Navy vessels, including 4 warships, has set sail this morning for the Mediterranean. One warship is headed for Gibraltar, where it will dock within a week. It comes amid growing tensions with Spain over access to the British overseas territory. The underlying dispute has gone on for centuries, but this most recent spat erupted last month after Gibraltar dropped concrete blocks into disputed waters to create an artificial reef. Shortly afterwards, Spain toughened up their checks at the border with Gibraltar, causing long traffic queues. 2 hours long going into the territory yesterday. Well, most recently, Spain's foreign minister has suggested introducing a £40 fee to cross the border and even closing Spain's airspace to flights heading to Gibraltar. Well, our correspondent Duncan Kennedy is in Portsmouth, from where some of the ships have set off. Duncan, I'm going to start with a text we've had which says, "Stop giving misinformation about Gibraltar. My son is on Operation Cougar. We had the itinerary 2 months ago and the Gibraltar stopover was included. You are just talking nonsense." I mean, we're not, because it's the timing that's the issue here.
Very much so. You can understand where he's coming from on that tweet. But it has been pre-planned. This is the third in a row. They have them last year and the year before. It's called Cougar 13 this year, the operation. It involves 10 vessels, and that takes months and months of planning. They haven't just drummed this up in the last 3 weeks, ever since this row between Spain and Gibraltar has started. It takes a lot of planning, including planning with the Spanish government. Some of these ships, some of these 10 ships, will be docking in the port of Cadiz during their journey. One ship, HMS Westminster, will be docking in Gibraltar along with a couple of auxiliary ships. But the vast majority of the fleet will be sailing past Gibraltar, on into the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, and on into the Gulf. Just a couple of minutes' time, we're expecting HMS Illustrious, the helicopter carrier, to come round that corner there. I'm not sure if you've got any aerial pictures we can see. There should be some aerials, giving us a pretty good view of this ship. It's carrying helicopters and marines and various others. Just one of the 10 ships that are part of this flotilla heading down to that part of the world. It's good timing, Simon, to answer your question, for the Gibraltarians. They are painting this as a Britain flying the flag in the face of Spanish pressure as a result of this row over the reef. But the British and the Spanish governments are very much playing it down, saying it is a routine operation. But of course, just imagine you are one of the 35,000 plus Gibraltarians who voted overwhelmingly in various votes to stay linked to Britain. Seeing a British frigate come into your port, flying the British flag, will be of some comfort, particularly at this time. We keep coming back to that word, at this time. So far as the Spanish are concerned, well, they're quite happy for this ship to come in. They haven't said it can't come in. They've given it permission to come in, plus the auxiliary ships, plus those other ships that are going to be stopping in Cadiz. They're cooperating with that. They've done so in the past. They will do so in the future. What they are saying is that this has nothing to do with the row about Gibraltar. They want to pursue that separately with the Gibraltese and not necessarily with the British directly. And there was an article in one of the weekend papers in Spain over the weekend, El País, a very respected paper, saying that Spain wants to take this further and maybe get into discussions with Argentina and unite, to present a united front at the United Nations to put pressure on Britain to hand over Gibraltar. But that's many months down the road. It hasn't been confirmed by the Spanish authorities. It was just a report that somehow Argentina and its issue with the Falklands and Spain with its issue over Gibraltar could come together to put diplomatic, political pressure on Britain to come to some kind of solution. But military boats turning up in Gibraltar are really nothing to do with that. We're not going back to the days of Lord Palmerston in the 1850s when he introduced gunboat diplomacy, where you would literally pile into a port, that would put pressure on the local government to change its policy, and then Britain would steam on again. Those days are long gone. This is very much a cooperation, if you like, between the two governments. Britain needs to exercise its fleet. It needs to put these vessels to sea, 10 vessels in all. They'll be doing exercises with Albania. They'll go into the Red Sea, do exercises with friendly governments there, and on into the Gulf. Britain very much treats Spain as a partner. They are EU partners. There is just this division, if you like, this row over the Gibraltar issue. But at the moment, it's very much a political row. What you're seeing today is a separate, entirely separate military operation that has nothing to do, as far as the governments are concerned, with the current diplomatic and political row going on over Gibraltar.
Duncan, I know you kept talking on the basis you'd see HMS Illustrious. We've been watching it now for the last few minutes from the air, so we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Sophie.